We're going to replace the keyboard felts on an A100. Most of the consoles are going to be very similar with subtle nuances that we'll go over in detail on another film. Obviously, after you take the top off, you're going to have to remove the top cover plate that has all of the switches and drawbars and stuff on it. Is held on either side by two long black machine screws and two wood screws, as you can see there. It's just a matter of taking those out. Obviously, you want to make sure that you protect the sides of your organ with some sort of plate. I don't have it in place on this particular part of the video, but you want to do that. Now, that allows access for the keys. Now, to get the felts out of the top, it's a matter of removing the screws on the guide front rail. Now, I've already got most of the screws out, and this one has already been broken free, so yours is not going to come off that easy. As soon as the front rail is off, it reveals the upstop felt, which is glued to the top rail, thusly. And the downstop felt is attached to the keyboard, right up underneath there. So it's a matter of just stripping the old felt off and putting the new on. Let's see what happens on the bottom. Very similar to what you do on the top. Obviously, the top needs to be done first, and it needs to be up out of the way, but I'm using a little artistic license here. So you're going to remove all of the screws in the front rail. Some of the earlier consoles have what look like rivets on there, but actually what they are long screws with a flat head on them that has a nut on the back end, a little harder to get to. This is what I'm talking about being a little more difficult. They're usually stuck pretty much in place, so just be careful that you don't bend it when you try to take it apart. What I do is try to get one side or the other just loose enough to where I can get a chisel or screwdriver or something like that up underneath it, and just like that, pop it off a little at a time. Now, to get the felts off, I'm using kind of a dull chisel here, and it's just a matter of getting one end started, and then the rest of it can be simply pulled off. Some of the earlier ones are going to have string holding the felt in place, and that obviously will need to be cut off. Same thing with the upstop felt. It's just a matter of getting it started so you can get a little bit of a finger grip on there and pull it loose. After you pull them off, you're going to want to clean the surface with, I don't know, some goof off or some denatured alcohol or something like that to get rid of the residue that's on there so that the new felts will stick nicely. Now, the felt is going to be even with the guide rail. You'll notice that the felt is narrower than that top lip, and what you need to do is make sure there's a space up underneath it so that it's got clearance for that part of the keyboard that actually sticks up between the front rail and that metal piece there. What you're going to do is start about an inch in from the upper octave side of that guide rail. So I go ahead and just kind of scratch a mark or something just to make it easier. Just so happens that this aluminum yardstick that I have is just about the right thickness to where when you lay that felt on it, that it ends up being exactly flush with the side of the guide rail. Now it's just a matter of stripping off the protective paper, which reveals the sticky back, and then you're going to go ahead and start it in the proper spot and just slide it into place, just like that. Work your way down. What you don't want to do is stretch the stuff, so as you're putting it down, don't pull on it, because the stuff will stretch and you'll end up with the felt being too long, and it really needs to retain its cushion. If you stretch it too much, it's not going to be as cushiony. And there you have it. Upstop felt is in place. The lower manual is going to work out exactly the same way. Alright, and so now you have a gap behind the felt which allows it to go together. Now when you replace the downstop felt, you're going to want to make sure that the downstop felt starts flush with the first key. You do not have felt up underneath the preset keys. And it's just a matter of stripping off the protective paper, putting it in place just like so, starting it even with the first key, and just go ahead and run it out until it finishes on the end. The length of the thing is going to work out exactly where it needs to be. And again, you don't want to pull on the thing as you're laying it down there. Just go ahead and lay it in place. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of push down on it a little bit as I go along, although that's really not necessary because it's certainly not going to go anywhere at that point in time. Alright, when you put the front rail back on, you're going to want to kind of hook it over the keys, kind of get the keys started where they rest into the key combs for alignment. Put the screws in, but don't tighten them. Put all your screws in place, and then you're going to push down on that front rail and then snug all the screws down. Just be careful because these screws do strip out pretty easily. They just go into sheet metal, and before you know it, you're going to strip the screws out. This is the keyboard that was just refelted. This is the keyboard that we need to do yet.